All right, welcome to another episode of Scotty Talks Philly Sports. I'm back here with my man Phil Steifel, Beard of Knowledge on Twitter. We're ready to go, man. Football season is here. It is Thursday night. The Chiefs and the Texans are about to square off, and we're going to get our NFL predictions out tonight. We are ready to go. We had an awesome show and all about the birds last night. I actually got to step in with Phil and the boys, and the live stream was awesome. A lot of comments, interaction. That stuff is awesome. I'm all about supporting all about the birds. Those guys are awesome over there, and definitely go give them a follow, a subscribe, get that podcast on your phone, on your computer, get it downloaded. Let's go. But welcome to the show again, Phil. If you haven't already, feel free, go follow me on Twitter. Scotty Drowned is my personal page. ST Philly Sports 1 is the sports page for the podcast. Like I said, you can go follow Phil, Beard of Knowledge, but also go check out All About the Birds, AAT Birds.
That's right. You got it. You're getting better at this.
I got that down.
And make sure you're subscribing to Scotty's YouTube channel. Dude, I don't know if I don't qualify because I've been a guest, but, he's giving away this Darius Slay jersey, man. And, man, I might just quit being a part of the show just so I can win that jersey. He's got to get to 125 subscribers. That's nothing. Let's go and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button.
Smash it. And get me there, and you might just win a Slay jersey. Who doesn't want a Slay jersey? CB1, man. First one in years. That's why I'm excited.
Call him Darius Slay, right?
Exactly. But we're going to hop right in, man. We're going to start with our birds. We're going to get these predictions out there, and we're going to live by them today. So we'll hop right in, Phil.
Right in.
Let's start with the record, man. Where do you got the birds?
I got them going 10-6. Winning the division. I got them losing to the 49ers and Ravens. And, the 49ers and Ravens are early, but the key stretch is going to be late in the season. I got them losing to the Packers, Saints, and Cardinals 3 in a row. The city's going to be in uproar. Then they'll close out the season winning, their last 2 games to lock up the division. 10-6 doesn't sound like a great record, but I think that's a really solid record because – and I've talked about it on All About the Birds, the NFC is a lot closer than people think. And 10-6 not only wins the division, but that might be a 2 or 3 seed, in my opinion. So 10-6, the Eagles are there. I did just before we went on, saw a tweet from Sal Palantonio. He's got them winning 12, maybe 13 games, so I love that positivity, but I think that's way too positive with this team. So 10 wins. And a division title, that's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it.
Hey, and I hear that. I'm in the same boat. Honestly, I'm at 10-6. I was teetering on that 11-5. But like you said, the conference is tough. Our schedule is pretty tough. I'm not on the end of these Eagles fans that think we're just going to lose to every good team that we play. That's not going to happen. We always beat teams that we're not supposed to, and we lose to teams that – we always have one game that we lose that we're not supposed to lose. And that's kind of where I'm at with you on that Arizona game. I think that is our trap game right there. Out of the 6 losses I got for us, I got the 49ers, Seahawks, Cowboys, Saints, Ravens, and Arizona. Now, with the Ravens and 49ers, I understand they're very good teams, but I do find them to be very run-based teams. In my heart, I feel like we have a good chance to win those games. I'm taking them as losses just as kind of like a realistic take, just to get the record, to a realistic sense for myself.
You don't want to come on your show and predict 14-2, right?
Exactly. That's going to make me lose credibility. So, I mean, as far as the teams that we play, I feel like we can beat any of those teams on any given day.
I agree with you 100%.
Obviously, we're teetering on injuries, just like in every other NFL team. Obviously, we have faced insurmountable amount of injuries over the last couple of years. But as you've seen, we made the playoffs. So that's not really – it's a concern always, but it's not a deciding factor as in us making the playoffs. And to your point, I think even at 10-6, I see us there at that 3 seed. I do in the playoffs.
I mean, and we say the injuries, and we've had injuries this offseason and in camp, but so has every other team. And a lot of our injuries outside of Hargrave and Alshon Jeffries and Dirk Barnett, pretty much everybody is back to at least a limited practicer. You know, Jalen Reagor today went full bore in practice. He might even play this week. So most of the team is getting healthy at the right point already. Lane Johnson was back in practice, you know. So as long as we don't have one of these super crazy injury-prone seasons like last year, the team has a little bit more depth. It's a little bit better, well-rounded outside the offensive line issues and all. But, you know, all the issues that we have, every single one of those teams, the Ravens showed that they had weaknesses in the playoffs last year. The 49ers, has any Super Bowl loser ever done well the next year? You know, the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is not a happy guy, and he's kind of on his way out. The Saints, you know, Drew Brees is getting older. I got the Cardinals like you losing, but I don't buy the Kyler Murray hype. I mean, Kyler Murray might be a good quarterback someday, but I did not see anything last year that he deserved that Rookie of the Year or to deserve – I mean, he's in some sports books ranked higher than Carson Wentz in MVP odds. and that just blows my mind because I did not see any of that last year. So, you know, everybody's grouped together. I think 10-6 not only wins the division, but puts them in a great spot into those playoffs. And, you know, there's that hashtag, Wentz is elite. You know, I live by that hashtag. And, you know, when you have a quarterback that you can hashtag that at, anything can happen.
Exactly, man. And, you know, to your point, Carson Wentz, when you have a great elite quarterback, you know, a top 10 quarterback, you can win any game. I feel it.
Fourth best quarterback in the league.
I swear,
throwing it out there.
I swear that was where he was at on my QB rankings. I was giving like a consensus take, but he's in my top 5. Don't get it twisted, everybody. Wentz is elite. And to your point, man, I feel like I'm way higher on our defense than what a lot of people are. I think that defense got better. I know we lost Malcolm, but I mean, he was on the downside of his career anyways. So, I mean, when you fill him in with 2 or 3 different guys that can play that safety, that, you know, quasi linebacker type of thing, when we get Will Parks back, that's going to help a lot. That was a bigger loss than what people were talking about, but he's not going to be gone for the whole season. He's not even going to be gone half the season. So as soon as we get him back, that safety position is locked up. I know we're not.
Don't forget about Kayvon Wallace at that safety position too.
Exactly.
In a regular off season when he gets preseason games and a full OTA session and rookie minicamps, he might have been a regular rotation guy right from the get-go. By week 3 or 4, I think he's playing 40, 50, 60% of snaps out there. He's that good and got that much potential.
Yeah. At the end of the day, where we got Kayvon Wallace in the draft was a steal. He wasn't supposed to go that low. That's craziness. But, yeah, I'm right there with you. We locked up that corner spot with Darius Slay. That stabilizes the entire secondary, and I truly believe it. When you have a guy that can guard one side of the field legitly, that takes pressure off of everybody else. You know what I mean? So you just hope that Avonte Maddox can just be an average corner, and we'll be fine. You know what I mean? That in our defensive line, we don't even have to talk about it. You know that defensive line is going to be a monster this year. Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham are going to feel so good being beside guys that can actually pass rush, run, stop. You know, legit guys in Javon Hargrave, Malik Jackson. You gotta hope we see, you know, that first round pick caliber out of Derek Barnett this season. You gotta hope. You know, if not, then we know what we got. You know, we know that was a fail at that point.
Yeah.
But I got high hopes for that defensive line and the entire team, man. I am an optimistic Eagles fan no matter what year it is. You know, even if I don't see it on paper, I can still talk myself into believing. And this year, it's not that hard for me to do it.
I'll be honest. I'm normally a realist fan.
Yeah.
You know, I'm normally that guy. If the team's not going to be good, I got them at 8-8, 7-9. When I stick to it, when I make a prediction, I try to keep my fandom out of it. I try to be as realistic. I don't want to break my heart. You know, I'd rather say 8-8 and then finish 10-6 than say 10-6 and then go 4-12. I don't want to break my heart. You know. I want to touch on you said Slay and how great it is to have that lockdown cornerback. What did Terry McLaurin from the Redskins do week 1 and the second game of the year last year? Put up like 250 yards against the Eagles secondary. Now you got a guy like Darius Slay. That probably isn't going to happen. So where else is Dwayne Haskins going to go? I mean, Dwayne Haskins isn't much of a quarterback yet. And if you're going to be able to take away his only main target, that's something like that. I mean, we can list other games where people went off on us, but since week 1's against the Redskins, we don't have to worry about that anymore. And that's such a huge thing on this defense that people are forgetting about.
And I mean, just look at it, look at it like this. Washington wasn't a great team. They weren't even a good team last year.
No.
And look how they stuck with us because of those long touchdowns to McLaurin. Even Vernon Davis had that ridiculous one in the first game. That's a whole different story. But
he ain't playing football this year. He's on Dancing with the Stars. Yes, I know that.
But I mean, just the fact that those long touchdowns like that McLaurin got on it, I think he had a 75-yarder in one of the games.
Yeah, it was like 70, 75 yards.
Yeah, so I mean, those big plays, those don't happen anymore. These games aren't as close anymore. So, I'm right there with you. That number one corner, and then you throw in a guy like Nickel Roby-Coleman, and you got a lockdown slot. We got great slot nickel corners, man. LeBlanc, Roby-Coleman, we got guys that can step in there. And I do like that. I love our chances with that defense. So let's hop into some of the individual awards. So for MVP of the team, I think it's not completely obvious. There's two options. You can go Carson Wentz or you can go that Miles Sanders route. I'm going Carson Wentz because I believe if Miles Sanders is having anything close to an MVP season, then so is Carson Wentz because Miles Sanders just feeds into Carson Wentz's stats, being the receiving back that he is. You know what I mean? So Carson Wentz is my obvious MVP candidate for the Eagles team, and maybe even the league. He's up there in my top 3, guys that could get the MVP this year. Obviously, if he stays healthy.
I have him as the league, not just the team MVP. I have him winning the league MVP. It wasn't too long. It's not just because of hashtag Wentz is elite, not because he's the 4th best quarterback in the league. It's because he was not far off from winning an MVP a few years ago. He's battled some injuries and some health. He's bulked up. He looks stronger. He looks motivated. He's got some more weapons on offense. Dallas Goedert, as that second tight end's a little bit more experienced. He's got a great running back in Miles Sanders. There's no reason for him not to put up MVP numbers this year. If he can carry a team on his back of practice squatters last year with the Greg Wards, the Boston Scotts, the whoever else, why can't he do it this year? If he's got Deshaun Jackson, Jalen Reagor, Hightower, he's got Miles Sanders, 2 stud tight ends. He is not only the team MVP, he is winning the league MVP. Write it down, mark it down. I've said it everywhere. It's happening.
If and when he wins MVP, we will have a special show on Scotty Talks.
That's right.
Just congratulating Phil because
I want balloons falling from the sky when all my predictions are right. A clown dancing in the background, whatever.
Straight up. So, Rookie of the Year. There's a couple different ways you could go with this one. I think the obvious choice is Jalen Reagor. I mean, we all love Reagor. Dark horse, obviously. Well, not obviously, but dark horse for me. Your guy Kayvon Wallace that you mentioned, as well as John Hightower, man. And that will feed into one of my bold takes. I'll give you one of my 3 bold takes for the Eagles right now. John Hightower, if he outperforms Jalen Reagor, it is possible that as a receiver, he could outperform Jalen Reagor. Now, Jalen Reagor is going to be involved in a lot of different parts of the offense, special teams, as a returner. So I'm not saying that he can outgain yard. You know what I mean? And this all is about John Hightower's opportunities as well. Because Jalen Reagor is going to get the opportunities. So, that's one of my bold takes. John Hightower has a lot of talent, a lot of speed there. And if the dominoes fall his way, don't be surprised if he takes advantage of them. But yeah, I'm going Jalen Reagor. I think he has, he's one of those guys. He's your first round draft pick. We're going to do a lot of things to get the ball in his hands. So he's going to get all the opportunities in the world, especially in this offense. We've been waiting for a guy that has speed, has agility, can, break in and out of cuts as a wide receiver, do things after the catch as a wide receiver. So we've been waiting for a guy like this, and I think we're going to use him to the fullest extent.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I definitely am going. Kayvon Wallace is the rookie of the year for the team. On the Jalen Reagor, I love Jalen Reagor's potential. I love Jonathan Hightower's. Don't even write off Quez Watkins. If somebody goes down, he might be on this team regularly. But the Eagles, the last 5-10 years, have had such a slow time developing wide receivers. So I don't have the confidence that they're going to make their mark soon enough and often enough to be that top rookie on the team. I think Kayvon Wallace, on the other hand, I know we got Darius Slay. I know we got Avonte Maddox, Roby Coleman and all, and McLeod. But I'm not sold on Jalen Mills as a safety yet. I know he seems like he'll fit better. He very rarely stays healthy. And he's kind of was in the boat with the Rasul Douglas and Sidney Jones last couple of years with me in the Ronald Darbies that I'd seen enough. I was ready. I wanted that old regime out of here. Those old guys that, not old in age, but guys that have burned us for so many years gone. And Will Parks is a nice depth piece at safety, but I don't think he's an everyday starting, out there 75, 95% of snaps. I think Kayvon Wallace by week 3-4 is playing a lot of snaps. He might even be a starter by week 4 or 5 out there. I think he's going to show that a lot of teams passed up on him way, way too many times. Not just once, but like 3-4 times. So Kayvon Wallace, I think he's got superstar safety written all over him. He's not going to be a superstar right away, but I think he's actually the second best safety on this team. And I think he's going to prove that, and he's going to be one of those glues that holds this defense together. And when we get closer to the playoffs and into the playoffs, he's going to show that. So, I'm going to Kayvon Wallace all the way.
And I can definitely respect that. Honestly, even if Jalen Mills, which I think he'll do all right at safety, I think he'll be fine on the transition. I think even if he is, Kayvon Wallace is going to get on the field. I think he's a guy that will earn snaps. I think he's going to find his way on the field no matter what.
Here's the thing with Jalen Mills also. Outside of Slay and Maddox and Coleman, if Slay or Maddox go down, Coleman is a slot guy. That's where he's made his money. He's one of the top-rated slot guys in the league. You don't want to slide him outside.
Right.
Okay? So if something happens in Slay or Maddox has been hurt a lot in his career too. Instead of putting LeBlanc or Craig James, who I wouldn't feel confident out there as your main starter, they might have to slide Jalen Mills back to cornerback. Although I've just trashed Jalen Mills and said, no, I don't want him here, he's a better option as a starting cornerback if somebody goes down than LeBlanc or James. So I think he's going to be bouncing from that safety spot to that cornerback spot enough times this year where Kayvon Wallace is going to get plenty of opportunities to earn his stripes big time.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful point, honestly, because Jalen Mills will be the first one that gets moved back over to that outside corner. There's no other piece that would better fit out there. If or when Slay or Maddox.
Hopefully not. Hopefully all these guys stay healthy. We've paid our price for the Super Bowl with enough injuries,
Exactly.
It's time something goes our way.
And Jalen Mills, to be fair, I know the double move is just not his friend, but he's not a terrible CB2. You know what I mean? When he's not the main guy, Slay's going to take that role. Now, if Slay goes down, that's a little different. I would be a little bit more worried. But if he's playing opposite Slay, I'm not too worried about him rather than Avonte Maddox. But yeah, I'm right there with you. Kayvon Wallace, he's going to be a guy that earns a spot. You can see it in his demeanor. If you didn't watch him at Clemson, you can see it in the way he presents himself. He's a dog, man. He has that literally, that Wolverine, that guy that he idolizes. He's got it. And I can't wait to see him because he just seems like such a savage, on the defensive end. And he's a confident guy, and I like it. So how about defensive player of the year for the team, on defense? Who's going to be the main guy that just really sticks out to you?
I've wanted to say a whole bunch of different names, but all we've talked about, like I had all these names written down. I didn't have one circled, but based off of everything we said, how can we not pick Darius Slay? It's just something we haven't had for so long. Who was the last lockdown quarterback that we had? I know everybody hated him, but Asante Samuel, maybe. He had a better career than people realize. Then you go back to the Lito Shepherds, the Bobby Taylors. It's been a long time. And he makes the defensive line better. He makes the safeties better. He makes the linebackers better. So I know everybody wants to pick Cox or Brandon Graham or whoever, the linemen and the blitzers to be that guy. But I'm going Slay as Defensive Player of the Year on the team.
Yeah, and I mean, if we see that first year, first year of Slay in our defense, and he's locking up number one receivers, it's his. You know what I mean? That Defensive Player of the Year for the Eagles is his. I'm going to go Fletcher Cox just because I'm so excited about Fletcher Cox finally having a running mate at that defensive tackle that is, similar in a sense. I mean, Javon Hargrave is probably the best defensive tackle that Cox has played beside. I mean, I know we've had Benny Logan, Timmy Jernigan. These guys have been, they're serviceable, good players. I think Javon Hargrave is going to be great, and I think he's going to take some of that attention away from Cox. To your point about these defensive line guys, the thing about it is, as much as I think that may favor Cox and boost his numbers and what he's able to do, you could say the same for every guy on that defensive line. Every guy's going to be hungry down there. So Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, they're all going to feed off of each other.
Don't forget about Malik Jackson.
Yeah,
he was a big free agent signing last year. He just got hurt for the whole year.
Exactly.
If they didn't sign Hargrave, Malik Jackson would have been the starter at that defensive tackle position. And I would have been okay with that going into the season.
No, I'm right there with you, man. And Malik Jackson makes it even more exciting, The fact
Malik
that
Jackson can play tackle. Hargrave has played end at some points. You don't want him on end all the time. But you might have Jackson, Cox, and Hargrave all at the line at the same exact time. That's a beast line right there.
Yeah, seriously, man. And that it's just going to be so exciting to finally have a guy beside Cox, so that he doesn't have to be double and triple teamed every time he's rushing the passer. Even Hassan Ridgeway, I like him. You know what I mean? He's definitely at the bottom of that D tackle, depth chart, but he's a solid guy if you have to bring him in to spell Cox for a down or two. Like, he's not a bad guy to have as a reserve. I mean, I'm excited about that defensive line. I get your point, though. Slay, I mean, if we see it, we will notice it if it is Slay. You know what I mean?
No, you won't notice Slay if Slay's having a great game or season because they just won't be throwing the ball over there, so you'll never see him. And it's not going to be – it's one of those things where – the most quiet person on the field is the best player because, the offense just has to look, Slay's over there, we're going over here. That's the way it works. On the line, somebody that nobody talks about that I think is going to surprise. He's going to get very few snaps. He's going to be a rotational piece. I loved him when they drafted him was Casey Tuhill, and he made the team, and it was really exciting to see him make the team. I've said it on other shows before. He was a guy that would have worked great in that wide nine scheme that we ran years ago because he's just a guy that could bulldoze and go straight after the quarterback.
Right.
And in the secondary with all these other great tackles and linemen around him, he's going to get a lot of single blocking schemes on him. And the moments he's out there, he's going to have some sacks this year. He's not going to go with 0 sacks this year. I'm really high to an extent because he's a 7th-round pick. He's like the 20th guy on our defense, but he's a guy that people are going to be surprised about and wondering why did he make the team. They're going to see it this year. They definitely are.
Yeah, and I definitely like that call out, man. From all the reports out of training camp, he has been, he's been very, very good in training camp. Obviously, that's why he made the team over other guys.
Absolutely.
Even guys like Osman, who I thought
they got rid of Sharif Miller.
Yeah,
everybody was high on because a guy like Casey Tuhill, I mean, he's got that knack for getting to the quarterback. So I like him.
Gotta love guys like that, honestly. So yeah, I guess we'll get to the gist of the Eagles talk. Are they contenders? I know you already, we've already discussed this.
This is like a repeat from last night.
Which we had some hard times with Jeff, man. He was throwing me down the toilet with this.
I don't want to give away your picks and your surprises when we get into the rest of the league. I'm going to throw you down this time on it if you say the same thing. But it's just like the crap I'm getting because I'm being called a homer everywhere because of where I put the Eagles at the end of the season. So.
Hey, it's just like what we discussed, man. The Eagles are good enough to compete with any team in the NFC.
Absolutely.
It's a crapshoot, man, in that NFC conference. Three bold takes for the Eagles. Go ahead.
Oh, you want mine? Okay, gotcha. Well, bold take number one, I've already said it. Carson Wentz. Wentz is elite hashtag, winning the MVP. That's bold take number one. Bold take number two, hot topic that's been talked about this afternoon all over, is to talk about Zach Ertz. Dallas Goedert is going to have a better season than Zach Ertz. He's going to have more touchdowns and more yards than Zach Ertz. Maybe not receptions, but touchdowns and yards, he is definitely going to beat Ertz out. And the Eagles are going to have a really tough time deciding who to trade in the offseason. Definitely. And bold take number three leads into my league predictions. This is not a homer pick. This is just my confidence in that the league is so close together. Eagles will make the Super Bowl this year. They won't win it, but they will make the Super Bowl. You'll have to stay tuned to the rest of the show until we find out who's going to beat them in the Super Bowl. But the Eagles will make the Super Bowl this year. I have that much confidence in Carson Wentz and his MVP abilities this year that as long as we stay healthy, which is the case for any team, because if Drew Brees goes down, they didn't make the Super Bowl. If Aaron Rodgers goes down or Jimmy Garoppolo goes down, they're not making the Super Bowl. So on that point, as long as Wentz is healthy, Super Bowl, here we come. I'm ready. I got my Super Bowl shirt on right now,
Love it. So, my bold takes are eerily similar, and I swear we did not discuss these before the show.
We didn't do bold takes last night.
No, not at all.
We just did our record predictions and stuff.
So it's really funny. I already gave you, the Hightower outperforms Rager. I got Wentz plays the entire season and wins 2 playoff games. Very similar to getting to the Super Bowl. You may as well, because he's going to be playing in an NFC championship. And then my other one was the exact same. Goddard outplays Ertz. The Eagles, and unfortunately, I do have this other part of the take that the Eagles will be forced to move on from Ertz by how good Goddard plays. And, to your point about Goddard, I think, I hate to say it, and it's kind of what we talked about on Twitter earlier with Ertz and the whole situation. Obviously, it's the elephant in the room right now. Ertz came out and spoke about the contract situation. He's upset. He's frustrated, and he deserves to be paid. I truly believe that he deserves that money.
He's a Hall of Fame caliber tight end. And I talked with you today on Twitter about it. I actually think the Eagles should move Dallas Goedert, not Zach Ertz, because I think at his age and his potential, you could get a second and a fourth, maybe even a second and a third, based off what some of the other trades have gone out there for Dallas Goedert. You might even be able to get a first-round pick straight up for Dallas Goedert. Zach Ertz, at his age and the money he's going to want, it's going to be a lot harder to get that kind of draft capital for him. So I hope Dallas Goedert proves me right and has a great season this year. That's only going to up his trade value. If Dallas Goedert has that great season and we try to trade Zach Ertz, everybody's going to be like, well, you have to get rid of him anyway, so we lose all leverage there, So.
See, and I'm kind of on a different page with it as far as Goddard. So when it comes down to Goddard or Ertz, pull a name out of the basket for me. Yeah. I love them both. Obviously, I know Ertz is the more acclimated. He's a Hall of Fame tight end. Won the Super Bowl for us. Game-winning Super Bowl catch. So Ertz is always going to be in my heart. And if the Eagles somehow can bring them both back in, I'm not going to be mad. I want them both. I do. But it just seems like the writing is on the wall for me. With Ertz's situation, they offered him the $12.5 million last year per season, extension mid-season. Ertz denied it, declined it, which you have to wonder how much he's looking for. And first of all, and
he's
then
looking for that Kittle Kelsey money.
Yeah, and then second of all, as far as and I know it's not the same situation, but the Eagles got that deal done with Wentz. They wanted to get it done before. The Dak contracts, the Mahomes contracts came out. And they tried to do the same thing with Ertz with that $12.5 million offer per year. And he kind of just didn't let us. And, you can't throw blame.
You got to set the or beat the market to being set,
Exactly.
If we wouldn't have signed Wentz that deal when we did, oh my God, the amount of money we'd have to pay him now, it's insane.
It would be insane.
It's really smart GM management, contract management. You set that level before it gets out of hand.
Exactly.
But Ertz knew his value. He gambled on himself. As long as he stays healthy this year, if we don't give him the big deal, someone's going to give him the big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. So.
Yeah. And, then the Eagles come back, recently in the reports, offer him, less than what Austin Hooper got, which is just, an insult to an extent. So I understand why Ertz is frustrated. But that to me right there just was like kind of a slap in the face and like a slap of reality, which I was talking with another one of our Eagles writers, George. And he was, all about the birds writer, George. And he kind of threw something at me that really stuck with me, with these wide receivers. I know we run a lot of 12 personnel, and that's a lot of the reasoning that we think that we should bring Ertz and Goddard, extend both and keep them both. He pointed something out to me, that good teams change their philosophies all the time. They stay up to date with the NFL. Not to say that 12 personnel is out of date. It works very good when you have the right players. But, I could see them going with a more spread offense. With these speed receivers, you got a versatile back like Miles Sanders, and you just go that young route by keeping Dallas Goedert, and, you keep that core longer. Ultimately, I'm not going to be mad if we keep Ertz. I don't know if we'll keep Ertz. A lot of it depends on this season. If these wide receivers don't pan out, why would you switch from 12 personnel? You wouldn't. So if that doesn't work out, if Goddard doesn't look like, what Goddard's supposed to be, a lot of things can play out. Maybe Ertz has his best season of his career. Don't be surprised. You know what I mean? While I'm saying Goddard will outplay him, trajectory-wise, you would think. But if Ertz comes out and says he's playing this like his last season in Philly, you better expect some fireworks from Ertz, man.
The thing that you put in the Ertz staying, Goddard going boat, who's Carson Wentz's best friend?
Yeah.
You always want to keep your quarterback healthy or happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always want to keep him happy.
Yeah.
You want to keep him upright, and you want to keep him happy. So they invested the extra money in Jason Peters to move him over to the left tackle position. And they're going to want to keep his best friend, his security blanket, his favorite target on the field. So that's another reason why you could see them giving some kind of a deal to Ertz over Dallas because they want to keep him happy,
Yeah. Because, I mean, you look at what, Carson has kind of gone throughout his career as far as, his surroundings. And, we ship Jordan Matthews out, the year we win the Super Bowl, he was notably Carson Wentz's best friend. They were having so much fun on the field, as Carson as a rookie, Jordan Matthews kind of showing him the ropes. And, they shipped him right out. And I don't know if you can do that again to Wentz. You know what I mean?
I don't think
you can't slap your quarterback in the face.
It's a lot different than convincing him to get rid of Jordan Matthews.
Yeah.
And getting rid of, a Hall of Fame caliber tight end and Zach Ertz. Two totally different types of talent level there. Although I'm sure they'll bring Jordan Matthews back this year again for a game or two. Every single season he comes back.
Do not be surprised. Do not. But, that's our hot takes for the Eagles. We're going to jump into the NFL super quick. Just to give a quick rundown. I'm going to go ahead and just start. I'm going to give you my 14 playoff teams since we got, the extra 14. Wild card.
I originally wrote 12 down, and I'm like, oh, no, I got to write 2 more down.
That's half the league, literally. But so in the AFC, right, I have the Ravens, Chiefs, Titans, Bills, Steelers. I'm torn on the Texans and the Broncos, man. I want to go Broncos.
You can change from last night because of the Von Miller injury if you want to.
Yeah, that's very true.
You could if you want.
I honestly do like Deshaun Watson stepping up and just going full MVP mode without DeAndre Hopkins there. You're not going to have as much of those pre-scripted plays that are just directly targeting DeAndre Hopkins. So I think Deshaun Watson's going to have a little bit more freedom with that offense. And, there's not going to be one guy that he has to go to on any given play. And then my 7th seed is the Patriots. I know that sounds kind of crazy. Sure. I think Cam Newton with Bill Belichick. You know, Cam Newton is a former MVP for a reason. He's going to come in. He's healthy. Had a whole season off. He's going to come in right. That system's going to get him right. And you may even see them higher than that bottom seed in the AFC. NFC, I'm going Saints, Seahawks, Eagles, Packers. I know the 49ers could be right up there at that, you know, in that Seahawks spot. Those guys are interchangeable to me. I think they're both going to be really good teams this year. Right after the Packers in the 4th seed, I got the 49ers. I got the Cowboys at 6 and the Bears at 7. And I know the Bears was not popular last night, but I'm sticking by it, man. Nick Foles put a fire up under Mitch's ass. He's going to come out and he's going to play good.
Good. That's it. Just good. Oh, man. That's rough.
Those are my picks, man. What are yours?
All right. So we're pretty close to the same. Just some of the positioning of them differently. In the AFC, I got the Chiefs, Ravens, and Titans winning division, and I got the Patriots winning the division. I got, you know, Bill Belichick, Cam Newton. We'll get into picks on like awards and stuff later, but you know, I'm buying into that pairing and that Bill Belichick is a great coach. And I got the Bills, Texans, and Steelers as my wild card teams. I'm a little torn on the Steelers. I'm not really buying the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger getting old, coming off of that shoulder surgery. James Conner and Juju Smith are often injured. So their defense is great, but their offense is not as good as people think. But I'm still going to go with them. Tomlin is a great coach.
Who, if you were to substitute them with somebody, who would it be? Who would be your next up?
I was looking at pretty much the Colts as my next getting both wild card teams, like getting 3 teams out of that conference or that division there. The Colts are really close. I love Philip Rivers. He's got talent with T.Y. Hilton this year. Their tight end is slipping my mind. He loves tight ends, but
it's not Doyle, is it? Is it Doyle?
It's Doyle, and they also picked up the Eagles' undrafted free agent Noah something.
Yeah,
I loved him. I did not want them to lose him. I think Philip Rivers has a nice bounce back year. Not like a deep run or anything, but he's going to be right in that 8-8 and 9-7 season this year. So I really wanted to pick the Colts. They have a really good running game. Taylor, that rookie they drafted out of I forget where, and Marlon Mack, 2 really great running backs. So it's the Steelers or the Colts there in that 7th seat for me. But we went Steelers. In the NFC, I got the Niners as the number 1 seed. I got the Saints, Eagles, and Vikings as the other division winners, not the Bears. Nobody on any podcast anywhere, even in Chicago, picked the Bears to win their division. I'm pretty positive on that. Nobody. Well, I was on vacation in Clearwater in July, and I was staying at a little boutique hotel sitting by the pool, and a guy comes out in a Bears jersey. So we started talking, and I mentioned the podcast and stuff, and I was getting his feel for Nick Foles, and he's like, dude, we're going to have an awful season this year. And he's a guy, he's got his own little Bears super fan club and all. And, you know, that's all they do, kind of like the Saturday Night Live skit. And even they were saying, nah, it's not gonna be a good season. So I burst your bubble there. Not happening. The wild card.
Rather die with the Bears.
I got the Seattle Seahawks, the Packers, and the Cowboys as my wild card. But like I said, kind of like a bold prediction to an extent, all 7 playoff teams are going to win between 10 and 11 games. I don't think any of those teams are good enough to separate to a 13-win or 14-win season. I just don't see that much of a difference. Maybe if somebody has an injury, someone jumps ahead. But outside of that, I think that's going to be a really, really, really tight – even the number 1 overall seat, the one team that gets a bye, it's going to come down to the last week or 2 who gets that in the NFC. So, you know, unlike in the AFC, I think the Chiefs just run away with the AFC.
And, I mean, we'll see, you know, Eagles firsthand against all the top NFC teams during the regular season. So we'll have good knowledge of what we can do by the time we get to the playoffs. And I'm right there with you. I think that's just a big old, you know, just a big old cluster of, you know, good teams in the NFC. Mm-hmm. Super Bowl predictions. I got the Chiefs and Seahawks.
No, I thought you were going to say the Bears.
No. I'm not riding that far with them. Hell no.
Well, Nick Foles comes in for
Only
another
if
playoff
Foles
run.
comes in. If Foles comes in, maybe. But nah. I got Russell Wilson finally getting them back over that hump to get to the Super Bowl. I love that team out there. They get a little too run heavy for my liking when you got a quarterback like Russell Wilson. So it'll be interesting to see how they work that offense with Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Greg Olsen as well. But they do got some good backs over there. You know, Carlos Hyde, Chris Carson, Rashad Penny. I think is still there, right? I think so.
I think he's now the third stringer there now.
Yeah,
I forget who took over. I was putting some fantasy lineups out today.
It's probably Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, Carlos Hyde. Yeah, because he's questionable for week 1. So that was that's why I was looking at that.
But yeah, ultimately, something is pulling on me saying the Chiefs are just going to win it again.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to go Seahawks just because I want to be different.
I love Russell Wilson. He's probably my favorite non-Eagle player in the league.
Yeah.
I love the way he plays the game. And I'm pretty close because I have the Eagles beating Seattle in the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
So I have them going pretty much almost as far as you do. But the Chiefs, I got the Chiefs beating the Patriots, and I got the Chiefs winning it all. It's going to be Andy Reid versus the Eagles and Doug Peterson. It's going to be a match made in heaven. It writes itself, the script. All the talk shows, all the podcasts, it just writes it. And it'll be so simple to talk.
What team would you rather lose to in the Super Bowl than the Chiefs?
Well, none. I don't want to lose to any team in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay, just say that.
Out of all the teams, if it's going to be anybody, I'd rather it be Andy Reid.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
Andy Reid is one of the best coaches of all time. He gets a second Super Bowl ring, he might jump up in that top 3 coaches of all time echelon there. He's got the win total and the winning percentage to do that. Yeah. So,
he's
I love
been
that.
Waiting on those rings, man.
Yep, absolutely.
So we'll jump right into the individual awards. We already know who your MVP is.
Wentz is elite, baby. Number 4 quarterback in the league. At the end of this year, I might say 2 or 3.
Hey, he wins MVP. He's number 1.
That's right. I love it.
But, hey, I'm going Patrick Mahomes. I think he has, he comes out and puts up these just video game-like numbers again. He has the same team, if not better. Lamar Jackson is going to be there. There's a couple different guys that I have that will be right there. Dark horses, obviously Wentz. I'm right there with you. I think he's going to have one of the best years of his career. And if that's the case, that's MVP numbers because he put up MVP numbers in 2017.
Absolutely.
So you look at the team that was built around him in 2017, this team is eerily similar minus the experience. So very similar pieces. What Wentz likes, he likes speed, he likes big tight ends, and he likes a good running back and an offensive line that can protect him. So he has everything he needs as of right now, injuries barring, of course. Another dark horse is, I hate to say it, Dak with that team that he has around him. I hate to say it, but he has no reason to fail in Dallas. But they will.
I don't want to talk or get off subject and on. I don't want to say names or anything. But after what came out and was said on some sports channel by a shock jock type idiot, if the Eagles aren't winning it, and I know you want to take my Eagles fan card away for saying this, the next person I'm rooting for, if the Eagles were out of the equation, is Dak, just to shut that guy up for saying that awful asinine thing he said today. So I'm going to be rooting kind of, sort of, but not really. But I'm going to root for Dak Prescott a little bit there.
Plus, I mean, if he does win, then the Cowboys just got to pay him even more. So, you know what I mean?
It works through them long term even more.
Hey, it works both ways.
My dark horse for MVP is Cam Newton. I just want to throw that out there. When he first signed with the Patriots, he was on a betting site. I forget which one I saw. Plus 6,600 to win the MVP, and I put it out there, and everybody said I was nuts because they weren't even going to start him. Now he's starting, and he's dropped down to like plus 20. Or 200 or 2,000, whatever it is. He's creeping up that leaderboard on the MVP. People are going to be, really watching him, and it leads in with Coach of the Year, who I think is going to win there and all. I expect big things from Cam Newton and Bill Belichick in New England this year.
Man, it's funny you bring up Cam Newton in that aspect because I actually won $100 when Cam Newton won the starting job. Somebody,
Really?
actually bet me.
Hey, he's got a great slot receiver in Julian Edelman. He's got a great pounding running back in Sony Michel, and he's got that James White, that scat back guy for out of the backfield. He's got a team, and he's got the best coach in football. So I think he finishes in the top 5, maybe even top 3 in MVP voting this year.
And don't be surprised by N'Keal Harry. You know what I mean? It's a guy that was banged up last year. He was drafted as high as he was for a reason. He's supposed to be good, so we will see. Offensive Rookie of the Year, pretty clear cut. I think we agreed on this last night, but Joe Burrow, he's a quarterback. He's the number 1 pick.
Quarterbacks win everything.
He's going to get the opportunity of a lifetime. He's going to get all the numbers. You know what I mean? If he plays 16 games, he's going to have the best numbers. So
yeah, and he doesn't have a great offensive line, but he's got, everybody's forgetting about A.J. Green, who he was hurt last year, but he's one of the best wide receivers out there. He's got Joe Mixon, quietly one of the best running backs in the league too.
Tyler Boyd.
He's got a running back, a bull horse behind him, and he's got a 17-foot wide receiver that could go up and catch any ball he throws up there. So I have a lot of expectations. They're not going to be no 3-13 or 4-12 with a rookie quarterback. They're going to win 6-7 games this year at least, because I really love his makeup, Joe Burrow.
And that's one thing I do want to say about what I just said. I don't mean that Joe Burrow is just some pushover, walkover guy. I think Joe Burrow is going to be really good. But I'm just saying in his rookie year, I expect him to be, good, above average at least. And above average as a quarterback as a rookie is enough to win Rookie of the Year. My defensive Rookie of the Year, I do have Patrick Queen from the Baltimore Ravens. I was really torn between him and Chase Young. I do like Isaiah Simmons over in Arizona. But I'm worried about Isaiah Simmons' fit in the NFL. If he has to be used the right way, because he is a Swiss Army knife, versatile player. He has to be put in the right positions to succeed. So they got to kind of figure out what is going to be his calling card in the NFL. Chase Young, I think he's going to have a great season with the Washington team. But Patrick Queen, I love him on Baltimore, and I think they are the linebacker breeders of the NFL. You see what they did with L.J. Fort as soon as we let him go last year. That bit us in the ass. And maybe it didn't. Maybe we just don't know how to develop linebackers, but they turned him into a stud. And I feel that they'll do no different with a stud like Patrick Queen.
Yeah, I'll go Chase Young. I think it's an easy pick. I mean, a lot can happen and all, but people are going to not even realize the fact that he's already joining one of the best defensive lines in football. Washington has a terrible team, awful team, but they have one good aspect of their team, their front four. And it is scary how good that front four is. That's why, this week with the Eagles game, I don't have the Eagles scoring 30, 40 points against them, because it's going to be a rough go for Carson Wentz week 1, because of all these guys are going to be running at him, and Chase Young is not going to be. If he was just going to a team that was a bad team that had no one else on the line, he'd face a double team every single play. He's not going to get double teamed every single play. So I buy into the fact that he's going to have amazing season. He's going to put up a huge amount of sacks. I think it's the easy thing to say, just like Joe Burrow. But sometimes the easy pick is the right pick.
It's the right one, man. And trust me, I won't be surprised if Chase Young wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. I totally get it. Comeback Player of the Year.
I think you can guess mine.
Who is it? Oh, you got Cam, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just talked about how great Cam is all night long.
And I literally was thinking about putting him on my list. But my Comeback Player of the Year actually falls in line with my really bold take, which, I guess what I should explain what I mean by bold take is that it's not actually my prediction. It's just something in the back of my mind or in the back of my heart that I feel could happen. And Matthew Stafford is my Comeback Player of the Year. And I think if he is on his game and the Lions are half decent, he can go ahead and compete for that MVP of the league, man. He was on pace last year. If he finishes that season, he has MVP caliber numbers. And the Lions were in a good spot before he went down. They were in a decent spot. I know they had beaten us. But Matthew Stafford, man, I love him on the Lions. He has some weapons over there. They got a decent running backs over there with DeAndre Swift and Kerryon Johnson.
Don't forget about Adrian Peterson now.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
they got the ace winner. Look, the other thing about Matthew Stafford that I'll say, he's a really good person too.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys that he might not be on your squad, but you always cheer for him because he does great things for the community. He's a really great, genuine person. Him and his wife are always doing some great stuff and all. So I can't ever say a negative thing about
and look how
when he beats the Eagles.
Look how loyal he is to that Lions organization that has not done him any services. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you gotta love him, and that's one of my bold takes. It doesn't have to happen, but if it does happen, I will definitely be sure to let you guys know.
Balloons falling down, the clown dancing in the background.
Little stuffed lions everywhere.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, you already said Cam Newton. Any dark horse.
Cam Newton's going to be an MVP guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be really good. The other guy, I kind of mentioned him there a few minutes ago. Don't be surprised if Philip Rivers doesn't have a great bounce-back year. That Chargers team last year was just really bad on offense. They had a lot of issues. The Melvin Gordon holdout, stuff like that. He could really turn it on this year. And I'm just going to tell you, who's not going to have a dark horse year? Mitchell Trubisky, just so you know. He's not a dark horse. He's not at any horse. He doesn't even own a horse, probably. Just so you know, get that out of your head.
Trust me, I wasn't going that route.
I got him lost here. He doesn't even know what he's doing anymore, people.
I'm looking at my notes. I'm trying to find where I'm at.
I'll give you – I won't even explain it too much. I'm going to give you one other name I've written down multiple times to watch out for. I got them winning their division. It hurts your Bears, but Kirk Cousins, he puts up numbers regularly. For some reason, like you said, you have this feeling about Matthew Stafford. I have a feeling that this is the year that Kirk Cousins puts it together. They win their division. He doesn't have as many of those clunker games as he has in the past. So,
and I mean, their defense is going to give them plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess next we are at Defensive Player of the Year. And this, you're going to laugh at this. I just realized how it all connected. I got Khalil Mack of the Bears winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, man.
It is Bears Nation tonight. You dark horses. Obviously, Aaron Donald's always going to be in the mix. I think Fletcher Cox could get in the mix there. As well as T.J. Watt from the Steelers. They're going to have a really good defense, and I think he's going to feast over there. Obviously, I love the Bosa brothers as well.
I didn't even pick a defensive player. I just wrote down Bosa. You can throw either name in a hat, pull one out, and I'll write that down as my defensive player of the year. Something in the water, those genes in that family, to pump out two Bosa boys that are that dominant. I mean, they're scary boys. I mean, there's something in the water where they're from. And those two parents, I mean, and even to come out with one kid looking like that talented, to pump out two like that, man, there's something special going on over there.
I mean, those guys, and yeah, to your point, those guys are. So which one do you like more?
This year?
Yeah, just this year.
You got to go based off the team. San Francisco's a better team than the Chargers, so that's why I lean the way I do. But I don't know. I'm torn still on them. I'm
not going to lie to you. I always get their names mixed up.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to say 49ers. Because I get confused. I didn't want to sound stupid.
I'm like, is Nick Bosa on the Chargers or the 49ers?
So Joey Bosa's the 49ers. Because I just remember Gargano on WIP or 97.5 with his Joey Bosa line that he used to replay over and over again, and that came out for the first kid and all. So, yeah, Joey Bosa is the 49ers. He'll probably win it because he's on the better team. But Nick Bosa, I wouldn't be surprised either if he's right up there in the top 5.
Yeah, both those guys are studs, man. And there's a ton of stud pass rushers out there, stud defensive players. It's honestly hard to even pick one. But to your point, those Bosa brothers are on the uptick of progression. What, it was the younger brother, that was his rookie year, right?
It was his rookie year last year.
Rookie year, right? And then the Bosa The other Bosa, I'm not naming names anymore.
Say Bosa 1 and Bosa 2.
Right. And then the first Bosa was in his, second year? So, I mean, both of those guys
they're young.
They're on their way.
The Chargers team is just going to be really bad this year. I have them rated as one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in the league this year. Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, just might as well go with Herbig right from the get-go because,
that's what I thought.
Tyrod Taylor doesn't give anything but maybe win you a game that hurts your draft position next year. So, that's it there.
So we will end it off with our 3 bold takes. Oh, my God. I just looked at my bold takes.
Did you already say them all?
No. No, but so you already know about the Stafford bold take. He wins comeback player of the year, MVP, leads his team to the playoffs. Bold take number 2. Mitchell Trubisky plays like a top 15 quarterback. That's bold as hell.
You're killing me.
And then my final bold take, man. This might not even be that bold, but the Cowboys experiment fails. They have a stacked roster. Mike McCarthy comes in. He's supposed to be the savior. They've made these edits of him holding the Super Bowl trophy with Dak and Zeke. It fails. And they go 8-8.
Man.
What do you got, man?
All right. So bold take number 1, you all know already. Wentz wins MVP. Eagles make the Super Bowl. I think the Eagles making the Super Bowl is the more bold aspect of that because no one's got the Eagles going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I'm just that confident in them. Bold take number 2 is that Josh Allen proves that he's a bust and he's not as good as everybody says. I know I got them making the playoffs, but I think that's more Sean McDermott and that defense. But at the end of this season, Buffalo is going to be contemplating their next move at quarterback. I am not a fan of Josh Allen. I think out of all those guys, I know Rosen's got cut and put on Tampa's practice squad, but I think Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, those other guys, are much better quarterbacks from that draft class. So Josh Allen, I'm not very high on Josh Allen. Bold take number 3, it's less of a bold take and more of just something I've been pumping whenever I have the opportunity to. A guy's going to play this year. He's going to get in for at least 1 snap. And because I had a similar injury in college, it's going to be so emotional for me to see him out on the football field. Alex Smith is going to make a comeback and play at least 1 snap for the Redskins this year. I had a similar broken leg. It happened 20 years ago in college, and my leg is still not 100%. The fact that he's gone through what he's gone through to recover and to get cleared by medical personnel to play, that alone, it's one of the most uplifting stories in the NFL. So I really hope, and it's kind of a bold but kind of more of a inspirational thing, he is going to get to step on the field for a legit play. Probably Haskins is going to struggle, and he might even get a chance to play a quarter or two. I want to see Alex Smith on the field and making a play this year. So kind of bold, kind of, a different topic. But, yeah, I'm a big Alex Smith guy.
Love it, man. I do. And I did watch his little episode on ESPN.
Yeah, it was basically I literally went through the same exact thing, just without 1,000 top doctors eyeing me up. I had 1 surgery and 4 physical therapy appointments, and sent back to my dorm room in college and saying, "Good luck with that." I had the nursing students on the floor above me checking in, doing all the work on my leg. Because that's all a poor college kid could get.
Yeah, I do wish Alex Smith the best, honestly. Yeah, that was terrible. But yeah, and you would have never, it was so crazy how it all happened, happening on the same day that Joe Theismann, broke his leg, just insane coincidence, nasty injury. And you just got to hope for the best for him. If he can just touch the field, stay healthy, and just play NFL football.
And didn't lose his leg.
Yeah,
is a miracle in and of itself.
Exactly.
The fact that he didn't die, it's a miracle of itself. Yeah. The fact that he's cleared by medical doctors to step on the field and play if they need him to, I mean, it's literally a miracle. So bold prediction is he plays legit minutes in the NFL this year.
Yeah,
and I'll be cheering for him. As long as it's not against the Eagles, I'll be cheering for him.
I like it,
man. Eagles, I want Derek Barnett to take him down.
I like it. So last one. We're going to end the show with this one. Coach of the Year. Honestly, I forgot about it in the individual awards. So
I don't know. I'm like, what's the next question? Are we putting out an Eagles prediction for the game? I don't know. I'm like, I'm out of notes on my paper here.
Oh yeah, we do got to end the show with that.
I'm saving you here. You know.
We will hit the coach of the year, and then we're going to hit the week 1 prediction. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that, man.
I'm saving your show here.
I would have literally been pissed if I forgot the first week's prediction.
There you go. The coach of the year, I kind of hinted at it already. It's not Doug Peterson. It's going to be Bill Belichick because he's turning Cam Newton's career around. That's your coach of the year, in my opinion. A really close second will be Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick's proving and cementing the fact that he's the best coach in NFL history this year.
Yeah, Doug Peterson's my pick. I'm glad you pointed at him. He finally gets that coach of the year that he's been deserving with just getting us to the playoffs with these practice squad players. I mean, some of it's wins, but some of it's Doug. You know what I mean? That the way he has his team, game plan organized. I mean, come on, Doug deserves it. And if he gets this young team, I know if Winston wins MVP. It may take a little bit of the credit away from Doug. But, if we come out as one of those top teams when we weren't – not a lot of people are looking at us as a top team, like the Saints or the Niners. Mm-hmm. If we get up there with those guys, compete with those guys, beat those teams, it's Doug Peterson's award. And he deserves it. He's been owed it. But, yeah, that's my coach of the year. I think the Eagles, like I said, conference championship, divisional round at least. You got them in the Super Bowl. Big things. I'm looking forward to this team. I'm excited.
All right, so what do you got for week 1 against the Washington Redskins?
Week 1. I'm going with my same prediction as last night.
No, you can't change it, so you got to stick to it.
You did make a good point about Redskins Washington football team's defense. I do think they're going to be pretty good. I think we will end up running away with it at the end. I think we may score a defensive touchdown, thanks to Dwayne Haskins. But I got us winning 34-20. I think the Washington team, they'll find some way to score on us early, while we're still getting our shit together for week 1. They'll put up a little bit of points there at the beginning, and then we'll just completely shut them out in the second half. And I think we'll be able to run a little bit up on them, get a defensive touchdown, and get in our groove week 1 and just get going, man. I'm liking us week 1, man.
Well, I like them too. They're going to win, obviously. You know what I mean? But I'm going the other direction. I'm saying it's going to be a low-scoring game because of the defense, lack of preseason. There's going to be a lot of sloppy football the first week or two in the NFL with the lack of off-season and all.
Very true.
I'm going 24-13. And I even thought about going 24-9, thinking that or 12, that the Redskins wouldn't even score a touchdown against us. But I'm giving them 1 touchdown, okay? Some fluke play.
Yeah.
Darius Slay's shoes untied or something like that. He trips and falls. Maybe. Something like that. But that's it. 24-13, I'm not a homer. We're not being homers making those picks. The Redskins are just a bad team. Yeah. They're going to end up right there with the Chargers, one of the worst teams in the league this year.
Yeah. And to your point, I think, they're worse along than the Giants. I mean, the Giants have even more talent than the Washington football team. But, Phil, man, it's been a fun episode. I think this is the most I've laughed on the podcast the entire time.
So glad I can make you laugh.
These bold takes are just getting out of hand on my end. I looked at them, and I'm like, wow, I'm really, buying in on the Bears. I did not mean to do this. I swear I didn't mean to do that, and I might not even believe it myself, honestly. I don't even know anymore. But, hey, man, thank you for hopping on the show again. You're awesome co-host. Love having you on, and you will be back on again soon, as always. Remember, like and subscribe to the podcast, man. Get us up to 125. I'm going to get you that Slay jersey. No promises. It's going to be random. But, just get yourself a chance to win the Slay jersey. CB1. I'm excited to have a CB1 on our team since Asante Samuel, like you said. So go ahead, get us up to 125, man, and I will go ahead and pick a winner, hopefully by Sunday, man. I would love to do it before the game. Remember, like and subscribe. Go follow my man Phil on Twitter. Hit him up on Facebook, All About the Birds. Twitter, Beard of Knowledge, AAT Birds. Also on Instagram, AAT Birds, and as well as myself, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, personal account, Scotty Drowned, sports page, Scotty Talks Philly Sports, ST Philly Sports 1. That is a wrap, Phil. Thank you for being on. Go Birds!
Go Birds! That's right.
Woo!